I will call to order the FARGODOME Authority meeting for October 29th for 3:30. Before you is the agenda. Is there any additional business?
Move to approve the agenda.
Thank you, Rick.
Second.
Second from Mike. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Thank you. We'll proceed with the agenda as presented. Item number 1 is the minutes from September 24th.
I'll move to approve the minutes.
Got a first from Blake, second from Troy. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Is there any old business in front of the FDA? All right, we'll go to item number 3, and that's new business. 3A, Rob, the table is yours.
All right, thank you. Page 5 is the financial report. As always, the month is on the left-hand side. The year-to-date is on the right-hand side. So this is for the month of September. So completing the first 9 months of the year. For the month of September, we had 4 events with attendance of 40,179 compared to a budget of 40,750. Total event income of just about $246,000 compared to a budget of $241,000. And indirect expenses of just over $470,000 compared to a budget of $471,500. So we did have a net deficit in September of $52,400, but it was favorably compared to the budgeted deficit of $73,600. On the event side, the negative $3,300 on the concert line item was from the Nate Bargatze show, recognizing the user fee without having the sales tax taken out from the ticket office sales, so that was an adjustment there. On the NDSU, about $3,500 above budget on the 2 September football games that were held. So attendance was good and budget was a little bit over with higher direct event income. Related to that, on the amateur side, youth football was slightly above budget, and convention and miscellaneous NDSU career fair slightly above budget as well. On the other income, interest expense or interest income continues to be above budget, and we also did have some higher net advertising revenue for the month as well. Expenses, labor continues to be below budget, about $10,000, just about $11,000 there. Operation was about $6,400 above budget. Cooling and electrical expenses, a warmer month, so running more steam through there. Couldn't just use outside air, and then the management fee above budget due to stronger, higher food and beverage sales. Any questions on the month of September? For the first 9 months then, 70 events with attendance of just over 300,000 compared to 71 budgeted events and attendance at 311,000. We've had total event income of $2,354,000 compared to a budget of $2,472,000. And we have, which is slightly below budget, but we've also are slightly below budget on our indirect expenses of $3,894,000 compared to a budget of $4,017,000. So through the first 3 quarters, we had a budgeted deficit of $134,300, but we are slightly above that, and the deficit is only at $69,800. As you can look down there, you can see we've had a lot of conversations on the concerts. The NDSU line item will change as we proceed through that. Interest income continues to be above budget, and we're doing our best to manage the labor expenses or the indirect expenses through lower labor and operations holding their own as well. Any questions regarding the financials? Okay, hearing none.
Forgive me, Rob. Rick had a question. No, I just make a motion to approve. The Finance Committee reviewed the financial statements as of September last week and moved to approve.
That's coming from the committee, so.
Is this a vote? That does need a
Roll
second.
call.
You want a second?
I'll second.
All right, thanks, Mike. Doesn't need one.
Nancy?
Yes.
Troy?
Yes.
Blake?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Okay, moving on then, past and upcoming events. Starting on page 17, since our last meeting, which was early, September 24th. We talked at that time where the NDSU Fall Career Fair was moving in. On the Tuesday the 24th, they had their event on Wednesday the 25th. They had I know they were sold out and had a waiting list of like 70 or 80 companies wanting to get into it. Almost 300 booths, and I think they had close to 3,500 students go through. So definitely a lot of interest out there, and hopefully students are getting placed, and jobs are happening here in the Fargo-Moorhead, North Dakota area. Moving into October then, we had the first October NDSU football game where we were hosting University of North Dakota. Sold out game, very good attendance, wonderful outcome. And then on Sunday, December 6th, Dynasty Elite Youth Football had 4 youth football games in the building on Sunday the 6th. And then Sunday the 13th, FM Athletics had their first of 2 days. I think about 14 games starting at about 8:30 in the morning and running until about 9 o'clock at night. That following Saturday on the 19th, NDSU hosted South Dakota State University, another sold out game. For those of you who were here at the end, it's been a long time since I've seen that many people in the stands at the end of a football game for NDSU. It took a little while to clear out the parking lots after that, particularly at 11 o'clock at night or so, but it's amazing what a wind will do for people not to complain that it takes them 45 minutes to get out of the parking lot. So that was a great win as well for NDSU. Quick turnaround again as doors opened at 8 o'clock. Sunday morning for FM Youth Athletics again for another 14 games that ran until about 9 p.m. that day. The football turf got pulled then, and the big one, Arts and Craft Fair, came in and started moving in a little bit on Wednesday the 23rd of last week, and then Thursday the 24th with their show this past Friday, Saturday the 25th and 26th of October, which brings us to today's meeting on the 29th. Any questions, comments from board members from past events? Okay, hearing none, then today, football turf came back out onto the field yesterday. They're doing some adjusting on it today, and we will start our normal early November run of football here at FARGODOME, where we've got 4 Minnesota high school football section finals on Thursday, October 31st, Halloween, and then 5 Minnesota high school section final football games on Friday, November 1st. And then NDSU will host Northern Iowa on this Saturday, November 2nd. And the Gold Star Marching Band will have their Sounds of the Gridiron concert performance Sunday, November 3rd. We'll then have Nitro Circus in the building on Thursday, November 7th. Without turf, and then a quick turnaround back in as the football turf will go back down, and we will host the Dakota Bowl on Friday the 15th, and then NDSU will have their final home regular season game versus Missouri State Saturday the 16th. Football turf will come up, and we will host again the North Dakota High School Class A and B combined volleyball tournament on the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. Taking us up to our next meeting, which is a reminder will be on Monday, November 25th, as Fill the Dome is happening at FARGODOME as well. Any comments, questions, looking forward, future events, past events, anything from board members?
Troy, with respect to NDSU football on the 2nd and the 16th, assuming they win, are we looking pretty good to get a home playoff game?
Yeah, we should hold one of those top 4 seeds.
Perfect. Thank you.
We do not speak of Voldemort.
We can foreshadow.
I think it's fair to say that NDSU is definitely in their drivers
Yes, they control their destiny.
Maybe by weekend.
for this year. So
Oh, that'd be a bye weekend.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving weekend would likely be a bye weekend, and then start on the second round of games.
Perfect. Anything else?
If there are no other questions, comments, that would be my report.
Well, thank you, I appreciate it. We'll go on to item 3B, and that is committee report, building and finance. Rick?
Certainly, thanks, Dave. Well, we reviewed the September financials already. Moving to that, we have the project and capital budget updates. We had quite a bit of conversation with regard to that, and Rob, if you want to fill in any gaps I leave, feel free to do so. The first item was the advertising, naming rights asset evaluation. Rob had reached out, tried to get some type of an estimate what a full evaluation would be for naming rights for the building and different parts of the building. We thought that seemed like a good approach, and the committees, the building committee and the finance committee recommended that FARGODOME staff move forward with drafting some language for an RFP. No action was taken, but just encouraging management to put together an RFP that we could work with. The next item was the Daktronics Arena, a LED control system and concourse TV monitor control system. The control system for the arena is outdated. It runs on a Windows 7 and really can't be updated any longer. There was some price discussion with regard to that. The cost of about $288,000 for the new control system for the arena boards. Nothing permanent on that, or nothing was approved or voted on. Rob also suggested that we take a look at the TV monitors that are in the concourses. They run on a different system, and see if it would make sense to try to get all that up on one system. Again, no action taken on that per se. Escalator, the next item, escalator safety brush reallocation. There's a motion to reallocate $15,041 from one account to another account to pay for the escalator safety skirt brushes. That motion passed by both the building and the finance committee. That's what I have on projects. Rob, anything to add to that? Got it. All right.
Not the best baseball cover guy in the country for anything. Nope, you hit it all.
All right, then moving on to the escrow balance and performance. You all had a chance to take a look at the escrow balance report. As the end of year-end finance report for that. The escrow fund basically came through with about a 10.2% increase year-to-date for performance purposes. No action required on that. Additional items, we had a review, Sarah did a review of the presentation at the Finance and Building Committees of a very nice slideshow, video show of the project. That's all I have.
Perfect.
So you'll make a motion to.
Move to approve the finance report.
Thank you, Rick. Roll call.
Nancy?
Yes.
Bryce?
Yes.
Blake?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Carrying on, we'll go to item number 4, discussion on the FARGODOME remodel. I guess we're coming up here to the finish line here on November 5th. For the last 3 weeks or so, maybe 4 weeks, Sarah, maybe help me out with this. When did the campaign launch from H2M? Was it 2-3 weeks ago? October 1st, so it's been out live for a better part of 4 weeks right now, and in between that, Rob has been doing radio shows, I've been doing radio shows. We did some sound bites with Sarah, myself, Matt, Larson, Mayor, coach from NDSU, which those are now being populated on TikTok, which if you got friends like me, you don't want them to see those because I've been absolutely lit up. I find out real quick, some of the people have pretty good sense of humor. So yeah, we're full into the campaign. This week I have Scott Hennon Thursday. Did Jay Thomas yesterday, did News and Views this morning with a handful of other stuff going on. Rob, what were the shows that you did? W or 94?
Froggy FM, WY94, Fan a couple of times, KFGO Drive Time, Tyler Axis on KFGO. It Takes Two with Amy Eiler on
Getting the word
KFGO.
out. So we're in the home stretches, just getting the final message out. I talked to Dan, who from H2M, who is the firm that's representing this educational informational campaign. He mentioned he might have some information to share with you, Sarah, with respects to data points or analytical points that have been going on with more of the online social side. So maybe, Sarah, if you could share that information.
Yeah, so with those videos that you had mentioned, we were looking at, originally we weren't going to do any TV, just very expensive, still very expensive. So we are not doing any TV. So we decided to push a more online approach. OTT is what it's called, and it hits all the streaming platforms. So if you watch Hulu, if you watch Netflix, if you're on YouTube TV, any of those, that's where these ads are being placed. So we have 5 15-second unskippable spots and 1 60-second skippable spot. So far, they have started on October 24th. We've had 37,500 impressions of the 15-second spot so far that have been served. This is, again, just targeting Fargo zip codes. So this is not anything more than the Fargo zip codes, with 14,900 views. Then on the 60-second skippable spot, we've had 4,070 impressions with 1,130 views, which means they watched it start to finish. So it's been looking really good that way. We had OTT, that one's actually doing a little bit lower, so that is on those Hulu and other streaming platforms. So we are looking to reevaluate some of those dollars and impressions to maybe push it, since YouTube TV is doing so well for us, and continue in that direction. So it's coming along, we're getting there. If you have seen, we've got Outdoor Billboard going. Again, Rob and Dave have been excellent on going on a lot of the radio talk shows that have been out there. If you've seen some of the news recently, they've been sharing our information, maybe not all of the correct information, but they've been sharing it, so that's all we can ask for. And then just to kind of recap too, the 3 open houses, obviously a lot of you attended, which I greatly appreciate, but we had some success there and have seen a lot of good conversations come from those, and especially the supportive side of NDSU team makers, everything to continue our message. So it's 7 days until the election. Talk to you guys on the yeah.
Sarah, do you have any, with respect to the website, the Fargo Dome, learn more, is there any information, analytics to that, like how many people have hit it, or?
Yeah, so we are now approaching about 1,000, at least Bitly links. I have to go through and get our Google Analytics to see how many people have maybe done a direct URL, type in fargodome.com/learn more. So I don't have those numbers in front of me, but we have where that QR code has been on our one sheet that's been out there, as well as on our self-com course. We had signage in the lobby. We're approaching over, I think, 150 scans of that. And then, yeah, so I can get a recap though, put together of what our actual Google Analytics is of our webpage. Online, we're definitely seeing a lot more social chatter, which is good, because that means people are paying attention, so that's what we want. And just continuing to answer with the information that we have available and going about it that way.
Perfect, thank you. Any questions? A special shout out to Troy and his team at NDSU Athletics too. They've been really good about the informational educational campaign, working that side too. So thank you for that, Troy. Any other questions with respect to where we are right now? Yes.
Just one question. Have you noticed, if you're paying any attention, any slant to the comments on the different sites?
All negative. But in the retrospect of the negative usually speak louder,
Right.
but the comments back when we're responding to them do get a lot of likes and engagement that way as well. So seeing about the same, not gonna lie, a couple dozen people commenting negatively, it's really not a lot. It's the same message. So it's just continuing to answer that same message of NDSU should pay for it, we should pay for it ourselves, don't raise taxes.
And then the information that's not correct out there, you're responding to with correct information to correct that.
Yes, so that's the biggest thing, is letting people know that we're spending up to 70% of our permanent fund, letting them know what these improvements are, letting them know that there has been a lot of evaluation out there of the best way to finance this, and just continuing to give them the answers that have been out there. And usually by the time I respond with that, it's still a no-go for me, which is fair. I mean, again, that's everybody's right. So as long as, I think my goal is to continue to respond to a lot of those comments, just so if somebody sees it, they can see our answer, maybe get that information that they didn't know before.
Any other questions for Sarah with respect to where we're at? So, yeah, as Sarah said, we are 7 days out from November 5th, the final push. So, yeah, we'll just bring it all the way to the finish line, and 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock on Wednesday the 5th, we'll know where we stand. So thank you, Sarah. Additional items, probably the most important one on our agenda is we have Nancy. And Nancy, with a heavy heart, this will be our last meeting here at the FARGODOME, and Todd is replacing her. So, and how long, Nancy, have you been on the FDA now?
Enough to really care about all you guys.
I believe it was 2 terms.
Two terms. So maybe just shed a little light on your experience in a sentence or two here at the FDA.
No, I did, on the way over here, think you might ask me that question. And I believe the one wonderful thing about the FARGODOME is it is a community project. It is a community center, and it is a community board. And I really think the fact that people bring that and talk that through in always collaborative words speaks highly. And I wish people would know that, and I wish people would know how deep the conversation happens before it ever gets out. Because then, Sarah, you wouldn't have any trouble with that. Because I think people see it as their own square.
Yep.
Instead of seeing it this way. I've really appreciated being on here. I'm going to get Todd a wig and he'll be fine. Well, winter's coming. Yeah, that's good. Thank you. I really have appreciated all of you. It's been a pleasure.
Well, on behalf of the FDA and everybody here at the FARGODOME, here is a...
I know when you said you didn't want a plaque, that really meant you wanted a plaque.
On behalf of
Thank you, sir.
Yes, let's show the whole group right here.
All right. All right.
Beautiful.
It looks just like the last one you saw.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Do that again.
You want to. Okay, we're ready. Just like graduation.
Nancy, can you move your left foot a couple of inches?
Thank
I
you
did
so
say all I really wanted was a pass for next year.
I heard plaque.
In plastic, I said, if plastic was cheaper.
Just hang that.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, do you hear that? Just hang that in the window.
yeah. Thank you, Nancy, for everything. It's been wonderful working for you, and I think I speak for everybody when it's been absolutely wonderful working with you, and appreciate everything you brought to the table, and we wish you the best, whatever that might be.
In behalf of the management team, I thank you very much. I do have your book, and so remember, it could always be worse. Sometimes I think you're full of crap on that statement, but it definitely has hit home a couple of times. So thank you for everything and for your support throughout the years, and good luck. We'll miss you.
You have an awesome team. You ought to be dang
I am
proud.
very fortunate to work with a lot of great people. Yes,
Well, thank you, Rob.
and Bernie. But no, it's great. So, and because you had mentioned something about chocolate
Yes.
and ice cream,
Yes.
there's I think chocolate cake and ice cream for you.
Ice cream,
Awesome.
yes. Thank you, Nancy. Is there anything else in front of the FDA? Hearing none, we're adjourned.